Cath. Welcome back to my channel made by Cath, and thank you for joining me for this video, which is a bit of a sewing catch-up. I'm going to be talking about what I've been sewing over the last week or two, and I've also got a finished knitting project to share too, which I'll put at the end of the video. So I've got a few different things to share that I've been up to over the last few days, a couple of whips, some new fabric, a completed garment too, so a real mix. So I'm looking forward to sharing them all with you guys as ever. But I'll start off this video as usual with what I'm wearing today. And actually this morning when I was thinking about what to wear, I was having a look at my wardrobe and trying to think, what have I not worn for a while, or what am I not really reaching for? Let me get something out that I haven't worn for quite a long time. And I had a look through all my clothes and I thought I really don't reach for my knitted garments that much. I don't know why I tend to go for my handmade sewing things or maybe old shop bought things, but my knitted garments, they're all sort of sitting in a neat little pile at the bottom of my wardrobe, which is where I keep them. There's a bit of space there for them. And I never have a look through. And I think it's probably because I'm a bit worried about spoiling them, you know, pulling them or anything like that. And they take so much longer to make than a sewing garment that I'm a bit more precious about them, I guess. But I thought, this is silly. It's really nice to be able to enjoy them and actually wear them. Otherwise, what's the point of making them? Although I do enjoy the process of making them too, but it's nice to be able to wear them too. So I decided to put on a hand knitted sweater this morning, as you can see. And I had to go through my knitting folder and find the pattern because I'd forgotten what this pattern was called, but it is this pattern here. It is the Cocoa Sailor sweater pattern by Wool and the Gang. I got this pattern, I think I got it as part of a kit, a couple of years ago. I think I might have asked for it for Christmas and my mum might have got it for me or something like that. And it's basically a sort of slouchy, stripy sweatshirt. You can see it's got a dropped shoulder and it's knitted on quite large needles, 8mm needles. So you end up with quite a sort of loose knit to it, as you can see. So we knitted up quite quickly, I remember at the time, because it is quite a chunky knit. It just comes together quite fast. And you can choose different colour wools to put together. There's a whole range, so you could have any colour, sort of main colour and stripes. But I went for this deep red colour for the main colour and white stripes. I thought it was quite a nice combination. I can't remember what the two colours are. I will try and throw my mind back and have a look on the Wool and the Gang website. And if I can, I will pop the colours down below in case you're interested and want to recreate it, I guess. It was a nice knit actually. I like a dropped shoulder. It's nice and relaxed to wear. It's got this sort of slash neck and I've got it tucked in a little bit today. And it's made of, I think it's, they're shiny happy cotton yarn. And I really like cotton yarn because I find that it's just really comfy to wear. And it actually feels really nice and cosy on today because it's a bit chilly outside. I think if I went outside, the wind might blow straight through me because of the weave, but I'll probably be putting on a coat on when I go out later, so the layer will still keep me warm. So yeah, it's really nice to wear it actually. I really love the red colour and I should get this out more often and not worry about spoiling it. I guess I could always recreate it again if I needed to anyway, so yeah, just wear it and enjoy it. And I've got it on with a handmade skirt. I'll stand up a bit so you can see. It's just a very basic denim skirt. Kind of like a mini skirt length. And this I've worn actually already this week. I wore it once earlier in the week when I was filming my Sew Upcycle reveal video. So I talked a bit about this skirt in that video, so I won't go into too much detail here, but I'll just mention the pattern. It's this one. It is the Moss skirt by Grain Line Studio. A really nice, simple woven skirt pattern with a fly front zip. Excuse me. And it's a pattern I really like, and I made this skirt quite a while ago and I haven't got it out much, so I'm really enjoying wearing it this week actually, and I thought it would go quite nicely with this jumper. So I'll put a picture up so you can see what my outfit looks like on. I'm trying to remember my sizing on the Cocoa Sailor sweater. I'll have a quick look at the sizing. I think I went for the smallest size 1, which is a bust of 32 inches to 34 inches. I'm a bust of 32 inches and there's quite a lot of ease in this sweatshirt. It's designed to be a bit oversized and slouchy, I think. And the pattern goes up to a bust of 54 inches. So yeah, that is what I'm wearing today. But I'll move on now to talking about what I've been up to over the last couple of weeks on the sewing front. What shall I start with? I will start with my completed projects. I finished that, I think maybe a couple of weeks ago now. I have to throw my mind back to it. So I finished a vest top that I made using a new to me pattern, which I've got here somewhere. Here it is. It's this pattern here, the Blommer tank pattern by Paradise Patterns. The actual pattern looks better than this, but my printer was just having a moment, so it didn't quite print it properly. But yeah, I haven't tried a Paradise Patterns pattern until I tried the Blommer tank. I know one of their most sort of popular patterns, I think, is the Hallon dress. I think it is. It has a really deep, it's kind of like a woven dress pattern with this really gathered deep sort of dip at the back, and I'd admired it on other people. I've seen people kind of wearing it on summer holidays and it looked really, really lovely. But I'd also seen a few people talking about this Blommer tank, and I thought it looked like quite a nice shape for a tank top. And I had some fabric left over. If you saw my recent sewing and knitting makes video, I'll link it in case you didn't see it. I bought this black ribbed tencel jersey fabric to make a True Bias Zoe dress, and I had enough fabric left over to squeeze out a sort of tank top style garment. So I thought, instead of going for my Zoe tank and making a sort of tank version of the dress I'd already made, I do love that pattern, I thought I'd take the opportunity to try a different pattern. So I went for the Blommer tank. It's quite different to the Zoe tank. It's got this sort of higher neck, and it's got a slightly more chunky, I think, and the way you sew it ends up slightly more chunky on the ribbing around the armholes and the neckline. It's got a really good size range, this pattern too. It goes from a bust of 30 inches to a bust of 60 inches. And it's got a B cup bust and a D cup bust. You can see there's the D cup version here has the darts added in. So I thought I'd give it a try and see how I got on with the new pattern company, how their instructions were and how the tank came together. And actually it was a really nice sew. And here is my completed Blommer tank, which might be hard to see on screen with the black, and the lighting's not the best today because it's a bit dark outside. So there you can see it. It came together really nicely. I like how the sort of the bands are sewn in. It ends up with quite a nice neat finish. And it's just quite a nice, simple, basic top. I've got a couple of notes here. So I lengthened it by 1/2 inch just because I've got a longer torso, and I thought I had that much extra fabric left, so I thought may as well. It's quite a nice length. I think I'll probably tuck it in anyway, so the length doesn't matter too much. Then I made a size 8 at the bust and then in the waist and graded out to be at the hips based on my measurements. But I did end up taking it in a little bit. I think this fabric is extra stretchy, so it felt like it wasn't sort of as fitted as I wanted it, so I ended up taking it a little bit. And I also ended up shortening all the bands around the neck and the armholes as well, just because the fabric is extra stretchy, and I thought it might not, it might just sit a little bit less snugly if I left them a bit longer. So I did tweak it a little bit, but I think it was mainly based on this fabric being very, very stretchy rather than anything to do with the pattern. If I made another version in like a plain standard cotton lycra jersey, I probably would just go straight with the pattern rather than making those adjustments. This fabric is just extra stretchy, and I found on the Zoe dress I had to reduce the length of the straps too because of the stretchiness. But it was a really nice, simple tank top pattern. I'll put a picture up because that'll show more clearly how it fits and how it looks. I really like it actually. I like the shape of it, and it's a style I like. It's not so sort of scooped in that it shows your bra strap, so I feel like it's got good bra strap coverage at the back as well. It's not like a total racer back, as you can see. It just comes in slightly, but not a full racer back where you kind of risk the bra strap showing. And yeah, really happy with it actually. It's just quite a nice, basic, simple vest top, and I think I'll definitely try this pattern again. I'll definitely use it again. I'll probably in the future, when I'm making new vest tops, use a mixture of this pattern and the Zoe tank by True Bias, which I also love. Have I got it here? I don't think I've got it here. I'll try and put a picture up of that one in case you haven't seen it, which has got more of a deeper V but also a kind of fitted tank top feel. I have noticed there's another Paradise Patterns tank they have. I can't remember the name of it. I'll put it on the screen here afterwards and picture. And I really like the look of that one too, and it's got a slightly different look against the Blommer tank and the Zoe tank by True Bias. So I think I'm getting a little bit keen on collecting all of the tank top patterns, I guess. They are quite a nice handy garment, and I do wear them quite a lot in the summer with skirts and shorts and things, and they're quite good I think for layering under like a sweatshirt like this too. So I'm quite tempted to try that pattern too, because I found the Blommer tank came together really nicely. So yeah, that is my new make, the Blommer tank. It was a fun make, and yeah, I'm glad to have added that pattern to my pattern library, even if I'm amassing quite a few tank top patterns right now. So the next thing that I wanted to share in this video is a new fabric that I think arrived with me late last week, and I got it pre-washed and out on the line to air dry straight away, which turned out to be quite a good thing because this week the weather's definitely taken a turn for the worse. It's been really rainy, it's raining hard outside right now. So yeah, not ideal weather anymore for airing things outside on the line. But this fabric is a lovely fabric which is gifted to me by Minerva in exchange for a blog post which I'll be writing and popping up on their website once I finish sewing up what I've got planned for the fabric. And this is the fabric here. So it's a woven cotton fabric with this sort of micro check or micro gingham in a quite a dark navy and white colour. And it's sort of woven into the fabric, so both sides of the fabric are the same, it's not printed on or anything. As you can see, it's both sides are the same. And I do love a check or a gingham fabric. I really enjoy wearing them. I think sometimes with the larger print checks, I don't always enjoy the cutting out stage because of the pattern matching. But I think with this, such a sort of tiny micro gingham, the pattern or the sort of stripe matching or check matching won't be quite as critical. I think it's a bit more forgiving. But yeah, I've got 2.5 meters of this fabric. It's just 100% cotton. And it's quite a nice sort of fabric. It's probably a little bit thicker than a cotton lawn, but it's going to be nice and soft to wear, I think. So I've got 2.5 meters. And what I wanted to make with this fabric when I ordered it was some sort of dress. I really like the idea of making a dress I can maybe layer up in winter over sort of a cozy turtleneck style top underneath. But then I could also maybe wear into sort of spring or the sort of transitional weather without a top underneath. So quite a versatile garment I was hoping to make. And when I ordered it, I hadn't got a definite particular pattern in mind. And I usually do try to have a particular pattern in mind when I buy fabric. Otherwise, if I'm sort of wavering, those fabrics are the ones that generally go into my stash and I don't end up sewing with and just kind of keep there and arm and ahh over for quite a while. But I'm determined to get this one sewn up, and I was determined to get this one sewn up, and I have made a decision on what to sew with this fabric. And what I'd like to make is a hack of this pattern here, which is the Bowery top pattern by French Navy. So it's a woven top pattern, and it's got this sort of grown on sleeve with a cuff and a button down back. And if you make the top, it's got this sort of cropped length, this sort of curved hem, and you can add a little patch pocket on the front. And it's designed to be, it's not super oversized, but it's not close fitting either. It's designed to be kind of like a relaxed fit, I guess. It's not got the biggest size range at the moment, but I know French Navy are currently in the process of extending the size range on their older patterns. And I think quite recently they've released a new extended size range of their Callier pants patterns. So I think there'll be other patterns coming soon with an extended size range. But at the moment, it goes from a 32-inch bust up to a 41.75-inch bust. But I originally made a toile of the top of the top pattern in some old fabric, just for kind of sizing. And then I never went on to make an actual final top version in the fabric I wanted to make. I decided to hack this pattern to turn it into a dress. And I love the original dress I made. I'll pop a picture up so you can see it. And I've really enjoyed wearing it. I basically cropped off the Bowery top, sort of straightened it off to about around my natural waist and added on a gathered skirt. And I love that dress. So I thought I'd like to recreate it in a different kind of fabric that will be great for kind of being versatile and layering with lots of different things. Because the fabric of my original version is quite like an out there fabric. It's a bit more of a feature fabric, I guess, a statement fabric. This one's a little bit more subtle, I think. So I think it'll have quite a different look to it. But that is what I'd like to make, a hack of the Bowery top pattern. So I think it'll be a lot of fun to sew. I do love sewing with a woven cotton, and I really enjoy making garments that have button plackets and things like that. So yeah, that is what I'm looking forward to doing, is get the button down back. I'm not sure if I'm going to add the patch pocket or not for this fabric. I could, I guess, make a feature of it and kind of cut it sort of on the sort of diagonal, I guess, to make the kind of checks go the other way, but I'm not sure. And I had a look in my button stash, and I've pulled out a load of different buttons in this little pot here at the moment. Loads of different buttons. I'm not sure what to go for on the fabric. So I think I could go for I've got some white buttons I could go for, which would be quite cute. Or I've got some sort of fairly plain dark buttons. Oh, that one's just gone, disappeared onto the floor. I've got these buttons here that I've had for absolutely ages. They've kind of got a little bit of You can see that a little bit, I don't know, a little bit of sort of feature to them. I've never used those, so I could use those. I've got a whole lot of different buttons. I need to decide which ones to use. I think I might go darker rather than like a white button, just because I'm planning to sort of maybe pair it with a darker top underneath. Actually, I think it would look quite nice with maybe like a white or kind of like a creamy coloured top underneath too, if I was laying it like that. So I don't know, maybe a mix. Anyway, that'll be the fun part once I've done the sewing of the main dress, to choose the buttons to add onto the back. But yeah, that is my plan for this fabric. So I'm really looking forward to sewing with it. I haven't made a woven dress very recently, or maybe have I? I'm not sure. Trying to think. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to yeah, giving this fabric a go and sewing up the Bowery top. I really like the fit of the top. I really should make the actual top version at some point, but I just don't think I get as much wear out of it as I would do a dress. So yeah, this should be a fun sewing project that I'm looking forward to getting started on. Oh yes, I've just remembered, the one woven dress I have sewn quite recently is the Dove Stone dress by Izzo Sew Studio, which I talked about in my recent October sewing and knitting makes video. And that one was a dress that I sewed with viscose, and it hadn't got any buttons or gathers or anything like that, so it's quite a different style of dress to this Bowery dress hack. This one feels like more of a classic type of woven dress that I often sew, like a gathered skirt with buttons. So it'll be nice to, yeah, make another one of those, because I do really love wearing them. So yeah, that is my plan for that micro check fabric. So the next thing that I wanted to share is a bit of sewing whip. And this is a selfless sew. I've been sewing for somebody else, which is my daughter. We got out her winter pyjamas, now the weather's getting cooler, and one pair, I've made her a couple of handmade pairs. One pair still fits because I think I made it towards the end of last winter. But the other pair, which I think I made towards the beginning of last winter, has really got a bit too short on the leg and the arm, so she needs a new pair. So we had a look online. I pulled up a couple of different fabric shops online and pulled up a few different fabrics for her to choose from. I basically searched for kind of pink cotton jersey fabrics with cute animals and that sort of thing on. That's really her thing. And she picked this fabric here, and I've started to make up the pyjamas. It's really cute actually, this fabric. I didn't think she'd go for this one, but I really love it actually. So this fabric came from Minerva, and it's got this cotton jersey, and it's got this really cute print on with these little sort of kitties and some leaves and some rainbows and butterflies. She does particularly like pale pink, so I think that maybe drew it to her as well as the kitties that are on the fabric. So I'm making her some long sleeve pyjamas. So these are in progress at the moment. This is the top. I luckily had some pink ribbing in my stash already that I managed to squeeze out all the bits I needed from that. So I've got a little bit of ribbing there. I'm going to be adding ribbing onto the end of the sleeves for little cuffs too, but I need her to try this on to check the length before I can add those cuffs on. I think I'm going to need to take a little bit off the length so I can add those cuffs, so that's something I need to do, and I haven't hemmed it either. I thought I'd try it on and check how low it came down on her too. But it's got a little pocket on the front, which she finds quite helpful to know which way around to put it on. I could add a label instead, but I think she just prefers the little pocket, so I've got a little kitty on the pocket. And the pattern I used for this little pyjama top is one I use quite a lot for both my children, which is a free pattern. It is the ABB Kids Tee by DIBY Club, which I'll link down below. It stands for the Anything But Basic Tee, I think. And it comes in a slim fit and a regular fit, in quite a broad size range. And I always just make the regular fit. I find it's quite a nice fit on my children. And I think I've made the age 8 now on my daughter, just to give a bit of growing room. She's 7, but she turns 8 in a couple of months. So but that is the top, and then I'm making the pyjama bottoms at the moment too. Again, they're kind of in the process of being finished. Again, I need to get her to try them on, which she's not always in the mood to do. So I need to check the fit of the elastic, and I haven't checked the length. I've kind of tacked on one cuff at the moment just so I can check the length. And again, for these, I'm using another pattern that my children really love, which is the Mini Hudson Pants pattern by True Bias. I'll link that down below as well. That's not a free one, but it's one I've definitely got value for money out of. I've made so many pairs for my son and daughter, and she really likes them as PJs too, in this sort of lighter weight cotton jersey. I've made her a couple of ones she wears in the daytime. They're in a bit of a thicker French cherry to make it nice and cosy for outside, but these are a bit nice and lighter weight, so she doesn't get too hot in bed. And again, I've added on the little pink ribbing for the little pocket detail and for the ankle cuffs here. So yeah, they're in progress too. And I'm never sure how much fabric to order. I feel like generally when I sew I should keep better track of how much fabric things actually take rather than how much the pattern says it's going to take, and I should make notes on that. But often I think once I've got the pieces cut out, I whiz straight onto the sewing, and I should spend the time actually thinking about how much fabric I've got left here and make a note for next time. So I wasn't sure how much fabric to get. I think I got, it might have been 1.6 meters or something like that, or 1.7 meters. But I ended up with enough fabric to be able to squeeze out a little t-shirt as well. So again, using the ABB kids tee pattern, I made a little matching t-shirt too. Sometimes my daughter does find the long sleeved tops a bit too hot in bed, so I thought it might be nice to have a t-shirt option, or I thought she could always wear this in the daytime with a pair of leggings as well if she preferred. So again, it's kind of half finished. I've got the little pockets again with the little kitty on. I just need to hem the sleeves and the bottom once she's tried it on, just so I can check the size. I mean, it's probably not too critical, those measurements, but I thought while I'm getting her to try on these things, I may as well get her to try on all of them and make sure they're just right and she's happy with them. So that's been a nice, fairly speedy little sew, and good to get them sorted, because definitely one of those pyjama sets is definitely looking a little bit on the snug side. I mean, I'll link this fabric down below. It's just a really cute, nice cotton jersey. I think it came in this sort of pale pink colour and also a green colour. My son's really a big fan of green actually, but I don't think he'd be up for this particular print in the green fabric. I think he'll stick to his Where's Wally prints, but that'd be really cute if he would wear the green version. I can make the matching pyjamas, but yeah, I don't think he'd be up for that. But anyway, it's been nice to sew these, and I was glad to be able to use up a bit of ribbing from my stash. I was glad I had enough of it so it all matched. So yeah, a little mini selfless sew project. It'll be nice to get those finished for my daughter. I think they'll suit her nicely. So the next thing that I wanted to share is my finished knitting project, which is a cat from this book here, which is the Knitted Cats and Kittens book by Sue Stratford. So if you've been watching my channel recently, you'll know I've got this book out recently, having popped it away. I'd made quite a few cats and kittens from it a couple of years ago for my children, and then recently they rediscovered it and they each requested a new cat. So I finished my daughter's cat a couple of weeks ago, and I talk all about that one in my recent video, the October Sewing and Knitting Makes, which I seem to have mentioned quite a few times in this video, but you can see all the details of the kitten I knitted for her in that video. And now I've also finished the cat that my son requested. And my son requested a really cute one actually that I really enjoyed knitting, and it's this one here. It is Monster Cat. So yeah, Monster Cat was a lot of fun to knit. And also a lot less fiddly than the cat my daughter requested, both in the knitting and the sewing up afterwards. And I really love how he's turned out. I'll show you the original Monster Cat in the book. Here he is. And my son wanted quite a similar style Monster Cat with similar colours. So yeah, this is his version. He chose the blue colour, and then I already had in my sort of yarn supplies, I already had the brown and the neon green and the orange. So that was quite handy. And yeah, he was a lot of fun to knit and came together really well. And I love how he's turned out actually. He's got this lovely big sort of orange tummy that's sort of hand stitched on, and these kind of obvious stitches. They're sort of supposed to be kind of like a feature. He's got these cute little mismatched button eyes. My son chose the eyes. I got out a whole selection. He chose these two. And I really like his choice actually. I think they work really well. And he's got lots of lovely details on him. Like if you look closely, you'll see the two paws. One's knitted in a garter stitch and one's knitted in a stocking stitch. And same for the two sort of back feet here too. So it's got quite a lot of kind of interesting textures to him. He's got this little knot in his tail, which is cute. And he's got these sort of mismatched ears as well. So yeah, he's a really cute little cat. He's a lot of fun to knit. The yarn that I've used is the yarn they recommend in the book, which is a sport weight yarn. It's like a cotton yarn, and I find it's really good for cuddly toys. It knits up really nicely, and it has quite a nice finish. It doesn't seem to sort of bobble like an acrylic yarn so much. So yeah, he was a lot of fun, and my son's really pleased with him, and I've got a bit of a soft spot for him actually. I think he's got a certain charm to him. I just love all the little details. I think his little neon green claws on the front paws, and then the orange claws on the back paws are really cute. I love the stripe going round. And he was a pleasant knit as well. He wasn't too fiddly. So yeah, that's Monster Cat. And my son loves him, so that makes me happy too. So yeah, I've been really enjoying revisiting this book actually. And I have found It's been quite good as well for just me learning new knitting techniques, because there are some interesting techniques that some of the toys use to kind of create the shapes you need for sort of 3D animals and things that you wouldn't necessarily use so much, I guess, when you're knitting a more flatter garment. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun to revisit it, and I'm glad to have finished up Monster Cat, and yeah, I'm really pleased with how he turns out. So that is everything that I've got to share in this video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed hearing what I've been up to on the sewing and knitting front. And if you have enjoyed the video, then please do give it a thumbs up. I hope you've had a good week too and been able to fit in a little bit of crafting somewhere in there. And I'll hopefully see you for another video again soon. So thank you again, and yeah, bye.